Hi, I'm Rhonda Kuykendall-Jabari, and this is Burn Brew Rituals, Incense Blends and Cozy Drinks for balance, healing, and inner peace. This book was born in quiet moments, in kitchens filled with steam, at altars lit by a single candle, in seasons when healing had to be simple, honest, and real. Inside these pages are stories and recipes for tea, coffee, and hot chocolate, each one paired with incense blends and personal reflections shaped by my life, my lineage, and my lived experience. Together, they form what I call the Burn and Brew universe, small intentional rituals for balance, healing, and inner peace. What you're about to hear is the opening of one of those chapters, a glimpse into how memory, scent, warmth, and ritual came together to offer comfort and sometimes clarity when I needed it most. Burn and Brew Rituals, Incense Blends, and Cozy Drinks for balance, healing, and inner peace is now available for pre-sale on Amazon, other book retailers, and at Llewellyn.com. So settle in, light something sacred, brew something warm, tea, coffee, or cocoa, and let me read you a little piece of how this journey began. Chapter 14, Your Home Room by Room. I still remember the thrill of getting my very own apartment. I was 18, balancing classes at Cal State Northridge and navigating the unfamiliar world of young adulthood. Growing up in a house with 5 children, privacy was a rare luxury. I looked it up and learned that our childhood home measured a meager 684 square feet, shared by all 7 of us. The thought of having a place all to myself felt like stepping into a dream. As a tween, I flipped through magazines, imagining how I would decorate my own home someday. And there I was, standing in my little apartment, my very own space. Of course, it didn't start that way. I had a roommate at first, a situation that turned into a nightmare that blessedly resolved itself when she moved out, taking her drama, her half of the rent, and, unfortunately, her refrigerator in the middle of summer. Suddenly, I was faced with the challenge of managing a whopping $365 a month on my own. But despite the financial strain, having the place to myself was like living in a fairy tale. For months, I used an ice chest while I saved for a new refrigerator and made do without much furniture, no sofa, no dining table, not even a proper bed. I managed to make it feel like home. With limited resources, I focused on what I could control, making the energy in my space welcoming. I wanted it to be a cozy haven where people could sit on the floor, sip hot chocolate, and feel like they belonged. Growing up, I had only briefly had a bedroom of my own, so creating a space entirely for myself felt magical. I'd spin Angela Bofill or Al Jarreau on my record player, filling the air with music that set the perfect mood. Incense and its warm, lingering aroma were a central part of my homemaking ritual. My relationship with incense had a rocky start. In the 70s, it was often burned to mask the smell of marijuana, and it did a terrible job of it. The smell of sandalwood and weed made me gag, especially since I didn't smoke. But in my own space, I discovered the beauty of a well-made incense, rich musk, soft vanilla, sweet coconut. When I lit a stick, the space magically morphed into an oasis of peace and comfort. Fragrance became my personal signature, something visitors came to expect and would remember about my home for years to come. My apartment quickly became a sanctuary, not just for me, but for everyone who walked through the door. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was stepping into my full Cancerian nature, creating a nurturing space that offered spiritual healing, acceptance, comfort, and calm. The combination of hot chocolate, incense, music, and meaningful conversations anointed my living space, making it sacred. Anyone who entered checked their worries at the door and felt welcome, safe, cared for, and seen. That tiny apartment at 15555 Parthenia Avenue was humble, but to me, it was more than just 4 walls and a kitchen. It was where I learned the joy of creating a true home to be remembered with fondness. My vibe was all about good energy, lighting incense, playing music, and sharing warm drinks, getting lost in laughter, tears, and heartfelt confessions. Every space we inhabit holds its own energy, shaped by its purpose and the people who move through it. By intentionally shifting that energy, we create homes that define us, nurture us, inspire us, and reflect the lives we're building. Whether you're seeking peace in the bedroom, joy in the living room, or creativity in the kitchen, burning incense is a powerful way to bring harmony and balance to every room. This is Burn and Brew.